So the United States has just allowed something to go ahead that has restricted access to YouTube for millions of people. And I think we need to talk about it, as if it can happen in one US state, it will and can happen in other US states. Before we kick this off, I'm posting this on my US channel, The Waffle House, so make sure you go and subscribe. Let's try to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. It'd be cool to see if that is possible. And I think as I've seen this video, I've probably just hit 100,000 subscribers on the main channel, so thank you for that if you subscribe to both. To paint the picture for you, let's go back 1 month, when the UK announced the UK social media ban. Now, the United States responded to this, with Donald Trump scolding the need for age verification checks, stating that it infringes on people's personal freedoms. Fast forward 1 month and a state has just been passed in Florida, meaning that you need to provide identification to access YouTube. If YouTube believes that you're a child, you'll be greeted with this screen, which says that due to a local law, you're not able to sign in, and the only way you can sign in is by linking your YouTube to a parent's account. And of course, the other way around this is providing identification. Now, we are going to dive into all the issues with this, but people are already getting around this by following YouTube's own procedures that they've laid out to request the change of account location. So you can request with YouTube to change your account to a different location. However, if you then go and sign in from Florida, it obviously resets your location. So people are saying to YouTube, hey, can I change my location to this state? And then they're using a VPN to continue accessing the platform and services when that state has changed. And not related in any way, shape or form, but this video is brought to you by private internet access. With private internet access VPN, you can change your location to one of 50 states or even 91 countries. So you can access your platforms and services that you love and use all the time. Using the link down below, you get 4 months free and 86% off, which only works out at just over $1 a month. And it's also the best way to keep yourself protected online, as they strictly do not keep any logs whatsoever. So check the link down below and let's talk about the bigger problem at play here. And this is where I want to talk about the major concern. And it's the main reason why this is something that everyone in the USA should be worried about, or at least considering. So the federal government originally disagreed with this legislation in the UK because from their own perspective it directly affects their own principles: freedom of speech, freedom to access information, and you get the idea, general personal freedoms. Yet the same law can be passed in a US state and not only go ahead but be received positively by senators who've spoke very publicly how they condone this regulation. Now, I'm not going to pretend for 1 second in this video that there aren't harms on platforms like social media, especially for children. There are, but all of these can be dealt with at home by parents. You can put parental controls on your kid's device, you can put it on your home internet router, and it takes a couple of minutes and it's set and forget, and it worked forever. The problem here is that the country that propagandized personal freedoms is now enabling laws to take place that require identification, or to be honest, stop and search checks before you utilize the internet. And this is a monumental issue for your personal freedoms, especially in America, which for all intents and purposes is land of the free. The exact legislation that has been passed is Florida's House Bill 3, online protections for minors. But nowhere in the legislation does it mention that this actually requires ID checks for adults. It's not about protecting children, it's about regulating adults. And it's the same thing that I've said on my UK channel for laws and regulations that are being passed in the UK when it comes to digital privacy. And the crazy thing is that the House Bill 3 directly contradicts multiple federal bills, which arguably could make the Florida bill well, for all intents and purposes, illegal. And this is where things get even more complicated. We know that the United States is currently going through the processes of trying to pass their final amendment to the Kids Online Safety Act, which requires social media platforms across the whole of the United States to verify your age before you access those platforms. Now, what's really strange about this is obviously this got through the House, and then it's got the Senate, and then it needs to go to the President to be passed. But the problem here is that when it comes to state level laws, most of them can be dealt with internally within those states. However, if those state laws infringe on federal laws, they usually get stopped. However, in this case, Florida's law hasn't. And with some senators speaking very publicly about how they support what Florida has done, this means that it's very likely, in fact, extremely likely, that senators will garner support for the same regulation for all US states and make it a federal law. And with Donald Trump saying that he disagrees with age verification for social media, yet has enabled it to take place on his own soil, it's very likely, in fact at this point I can almost guarantee it, that a federal law will go ahead in the US that requires all adults in the US to verify their age before they access social media platforms, gaming, AI services, and pretty much every single website. I've spoken about this topic quite a bit on this channel, and that's because I really strongly believe that this is going to affect the entire of the United States. The same thing happened in the UK, which many people thought wouldn't. The same thing happened in Australia. It's now being proposed in Canada. It's just been passed in France, and there's 16 other countries just in Europe that are looking at implementing the same regulation and legislation. So yeah, it's going to happen. And for now, the only thing you can really do is get yourself a VPN. But I also think that you guys should be aware of what's happening within your country, which is why we make videos like this. If you did enjoy today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 10k by the end of the year. And thank you so much for watching. I shall see you all in the next one. 1 2 check check 1 2 right. Aircon, because it's hot in here, just allows something to go ahead that has got fluff in my eyes. There's so much mess down there. What's going on here? Sort it out. As if it can happen in one US state, it won't. It won't. I'm trying to look at the camera, but my eyes are over there. Pretty smart, big brain. The problem here is that the problem here, that's the video.